This is a video of my show that I had at Third Space called Finding Your Place. We've got some bigger sculptures happening in here. A couple installations, longer hanging sculptures here, and older sculptures are also in here for the heck of it. There's one over there behind this big construction, and there's Bobo, my mom, and then I've got this old one too. It's about 12 years old, called Comforts of Home. I've got a relief carving that I did. I call that Empty Spaces. It's just a contemplative stare, a woman who's staring off into the space in front of her. Then I have some of my figure drawings. I just kind of plastered the wall with some of just an array of figure drawings back there. Thought that would be fun since my artwork is really grounded in human experience. So let's start here with this big guy. It's got a bunch of rocks and privet branches suspended there. It's suspended. This one I call the Weeding Out. And it's attached to this long snake-like thing. Just snakes down this birch construction. Snakes over, back and ends back there. And this is just kind of based on neurological development and how that relates to, life's process of making choices and having to deal with change. Finding your way in life. And there's my oldie called Second Wind. It's when I made that about 20 years ago. As a friend of mine said, it's a classic. And that one I made for Paul Buckner's 33 years with Paul Buckner. It was an invitation show in Portland after I got out of art school, but I was really tired at the time, and so that kind of represented trying to find my way. Then there's this guy. This one is, I call Lost Places. And you might not be able to tell, there's like a stained glass light there hanging with some drywall. Kind of lights up his little space. I really like how you can see through his burlap garb. You can see the wood behind him that defines his once space of the past. So he's got, I cast him out of wax, and he's got plaster in those feet, so he's weighted, he's connected, and he comes on up, and there's his wax head, and he's suspended here. And some folks were saying that they thought he was a refugee. That could be. I think he is, but he's representative of that process of finding new places, having to construct new places for yourself to feel comfortable for you and your family or whatever. just that process of loss. You have to have some loss in order to have some gain. So that's kind of what this piece is about. He stands about 6 feet tall, and he just kind of overlooks everything. And then around here, this is where it all started. I got these privet branches from some arborists who are clearing out some privet at this house. And I knew I wanted to make something with them. And I've really, all the wood in here, most of the wood is privet, which is a junky wood around here. It grows like a weed. There's this, can't really see, but there are these rosettes down here. And I carved some landscapey type things into them. So it's sort of like valleys and hills, or they're kind of like claws. Some people said they look like elephant knuckles or something. And then underneath is all the debris. I kept the majority of what I carved off of all the pieces of wood. So the decorative pieces are decorative pear. Going into privet, and then there's a fella who's hanging out in a hammock. I call this existential hammock. And he's just kind of hanging out with his arms. Now he's got his feet down here, his legs come up and over. He's kind of sitting on a cloud-like structure. He's just chilling. And got his arms behind his head. And he's hanging out in a copper hammock that I made from some wire I got from the wood shop. They were rewiring that. Not the wood shop at Third Space, but the wood shop at Area 52. So let's have a look at his face here. Hello, guy. Hammock guy. He's got his arms, going underneath his hair. And just kind of come around back here and have a look. Kind of fiery hair that's just hanging down. So, he's just chilling. He's pretty content with this place, he's representative of finding that comfort place, that place that he can relate to, the people he knows, the backyard he loves. He's found his spot where he can safely daydream. So, and it's just pegged together here at the top. Let me see if I can find a peg. There's a peg. I just pegged it all together so I could take it apart and get it through the doors. And then this guy over here is a hut that I made. I threw it together a couple days before the show. It's been a conceptual idea for quite a while. It came to me after Christmas when I'd see Christmas trees tossed out. And so it's decorated like a Christmas tree, and it's outfitted inside with some stuff. There's some shoes, old shoes, a 40 of malt liquor called Country Club. We actually drank that at the opening. And then there's some nice holiday foods, some turkey, pumpkin, mashed potatoes, some discarded clothes, an old blanket that I found out and around. There's a lot of homeless folks. There's some trash in here. People have been contributing to that. That's kind of cool. I'm finding lots of different discarded cups and stuff in here. I like it. So I call this home for the holidays. And it's really, pretty self-explanatory. It's about, homeless folks and, the fact that they come from somewhere too, and they have a life, they're born, they're children, and they go through experiences and you know, circumstances or whatever it is, mental illness, war, the effects of war. You know, they find themselves out on the street. Many of us have, you know, family to go to, and that's one of our really warm places, something that we, you know, it can be challenging too, but we have it. And we have roofs over our head, and we have, you know, warm places to be during those holiday seasons. And yeah, this is just sort of my contemplation of, you know, their struggles. And I know I'm pretty privileged, but it does affect me every time I see the, you know, the homeless folks who are struggling out there. And I've gotten to know some in Davis, and my one homeless friend, Chris, goes by Flows. He actually came to my opening. He's a big fan of my art, but he made me this a graffiti. He's a graffiti artist, and he made me a sign. Let me see if I still have it. Oh, it's not here. He did a graffiti sign that was said "Home for the Holidays," because that was his favorite piece. And he did a little graffiti name for me, and I have the paper. I put it back in my studio, but I thought that was pretty cool. He was impressed by the Country Club malt liquor too. He thought that was the best, you know, alcohol to serve at my opening. So that's it. And here's that hanging piece. That one sort of fits into the theme of the show. This is about my mom's bone cancer that she's dealing with really well. But it was about a year ago that she found out that she had bone cancer from a breast cancer that she had 25 years ago. Really benign breast cancer, but it went metastatic, and so this was my piece, sort of, that I cranked out based on that. So it's privet wrapped around a rebar frame with some concrete chunks inside there. Let's see if I can get it pretty good. It's about 11.5 feet long. Suspends from the ceiling. It's wonderful to watch it blow around in the wind when the doors are open or people bump into it, and it's kind of got a life of its own. And you know, I've gotten decent feedback on this, but yeah, that's it. That's my show, and it's a lot of hard work. I did most of these pieces in the last year or so, and you know, most of the drawings are from the figure session that I hold here. And the carving is based on one of my drawings. So. It's getting all funky again, but here you go. It's a long recording, but you got to experience finding your place, and I hope that those of you who are local can get down here to see it for yourself in the real. All right, thank you.